for being here, going through the process, all that you've done. I do want to clarify some things, though, a couple of my colleagues have mentioned as well. President Biden, on his very first full day in office, stood in front of the staff of the White House and said this statement. I'm not joking when I say this. If you ever work with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. On the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. The challenge you have, obviously, is walking in some of your previous statements, as you've already mentioned. You actually have tweeted more in the past 4 years than President Trump tweeted as far as just numbers, and it's been pretty hostile, obviously. You've called Republicans criminally ignorant, corrupt, and the worst. And as you've already mentioned, over 1,000 tweets have actually been deleted by you as you try to clear, but there's still a lot that's there as well. All that's partisan. I get that. I do have a concern, though, because some of the statements that you've made seem to drift out of the partisan issues. One statement that you made about people that have the personal religious convictions about contraception, like Little Sisters of the Poor and others, called them a successful political cudgel, helping isolate extreme advocates from the mainstream. That one seems to cross a different line for me. So help me understand how the personal religious beliefs of some Americans could be a successful political cudgel.
Well, Senator, first of all, I want to say that if for anyone offended by my language, I feel badly about that. I think in that regard, I was more speaking to people who politicize religion, not people who believe in religion, and political leaders who politicize religion, not people, I'm a person of faith myself and deeply respect people of all faiths and all faith traditions.
The context didn't seem to be about people that use religion as a cudgel. It seemed to be that the personal beliefs of those individuals became the cudgel. That's the part that threw me in that. So we can talk more at length on this, but obviously, President Biden has talked a lot about tone. You walk into this being hired with a very, very different tone than when President Biden says that he is looking for on that. So that's kind of stood out in this process to us. And we're hopeful that if confirmed that this is a very different thing. Something that this committee has asked pretty frequently of nominees is, will you commit to working across the aisle? And that's one we have to ask you a little more blunt than others, because it's been pretty clear that hasn't been your position in the past.
Senator, I very much appreciate that question. I do. I want to say that I do think the last several years have been very polarizing, and I apologize for my language that has contributed to that. I would also say that in previous times, I've worked across the aisle on issues like support of the transatlantic relationship, immigration, support for small businesses, worked even in the last few years with institutions like AEI and Cato on these important issues. And so I know it's on me to demonstrate to this committee and to Republican members and Democratic members I can work with anyone. And that burden is on my shoulders, and it is one that I plan to take on. And I will do my best to work with you on any issue that we can, where we can make progress for the American people.
Let's try to figure that out.